On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight!
Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
And that'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It's all over. The Chicago Bulls.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah! Good morning. Welcome to the Tripped Out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning, and everything seems to be functioning very, very well because I can tell you earlier, almost everything crashed, and I was scared that I would be able to come on today, but everything is normalized, everything is back together. And I was up late last night doing my spot boards and everything I need to do for my ball game on Friday, which is tomorrow. And it's Jefferson. I keep wanting to say Jefferson, and it's my friend Gary Rama's fault because he put that word he put that word in my head. It's Jennings County hosting Floyd Central. For those of you that listen via the new YouTube channel, Snowman and SCM Sports Radio Network. I am batting 1,000 so far this morning. The SDM Sports Radio Network, and for those of you that take it on the go, you can listen via TuneIn. Pre-game show starts at 6:30. I'll have all the numbers, the stats, facts, and the figures, and the kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. To the Fanatics Feedback Zone, Royston Gibbs gives us greetings, and so does the Hog TV. Good morning to both of you. And we're just about ready to get this bad boy going here. So, as we always do to rock the show, we go to the whip around, and today it's presented by Monkey Knife Fight. And we start this whip around in Kansas City as Mike Matheny has been fired by the Kansas City Royals for a last place AL Central finish. The former Cardinals manager turned Royals manager finished last in the American League Central, and the Royals said, we're not going to take it. We're going to find someone that will help us get to where we need to go. So we'll see if Matheny lands elsewhere. Jonathan Taylor has been ruled out for tonight's game as the Indianapolis Colts will travel to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. Boy, oh boy, when it rains, it pours for the poor Indianapolis Colts. Good grief. I don't know if they can come back from this, and I'll talk about the Colts a little later. Veteran wide receiver Cole Beasley decided, nope, I'm not hanging with Tom Brady anymore. I'm going to hang them up. And that's exactly what he did. Cole Beasley announces his retirement after a short stint with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Trouble in Tampa? Maybe. Just maybe. What else is going to happen in Tampa? The Golden State Warriors are considering disciplinary action against Draymond Green after he was involved with an altercation with a teammate, and that teammate just happens to be Jordan Poole. The Athletic and ESPN reported a heated argument between Green and Poole came to blows during practice when Green forcefully struck Poole. Both players reportedly pushed and shoved each other before Green escalated things, resulting in Green and Poole being separated and practice being stopped. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm glad it's preseason and not regular season. And just like when Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr, maybe it'll help result in another championship. You never know. Thursday night football shows that the Indianapolis Colts will travel to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. The Colts had 1-2-1 on the year, and the Broncos are the luckiest 2-2 team so far because that offense is putrid. Let's see if the Colts defense can take advantage. I don't know, but the Colts defense has spent too much time on the field. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this morning's Whip Around. And let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Royston Gibbs, once again, good morning to you as well as the Hog TV. Chris Dietz is here, says morning, everyone, and also says good thing their head coach knows about getting punched by a teammate. Of course, we're in reference to Steve Kerr and him getting punched by Michael Jordan, because in June of that season, Michael Jordan trusted Steve Kerr to make the game-winning shot, and that's exactly what he did. A Pizzle in the house, good morning to you, my friend. Hey, Pizzle, are you live streaming on Sunday for the Dolphins game? I want to know because I want to check it out because I want to check out some streams before I do mine this weekend. Well, the Whip Around's taken care of. Still waiting on my partner Cole Johnson, so we're going to pause for a break, and when we come back, maybe, just maybe, I'll go off the board. But you never know what I'm up to when I'm flying solo, and I'm flying solo so far. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE,
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
You better believe it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and Cole Johnson is here. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm feeling great, man. How about you?
Oh, good, man. It's been a wonderful Thursday thus far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Victor Locke put a question in the chat, and we're going to put this on our social media. And that question of the day is, what is your favorite old school jersey? I picked two of them, one for you and one for me, because I absolutely adored those rainbow Astro jerseys, the Astrodome version.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, it's the Winning Ugly uniforms from '83 for the White Sox.
Not Winning Ugly.
Well, that was the theme. That was the motto they adopted, because they did win ugly for a lot of games.
Yeah.
And that was the jersey that was adopted. We're going to put this on official SIT Morn via Twitter. So want you fans to get involved. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do something live on the air that I thought I would never do. We're going to put this on our TikTok as well as our Instagram as soon as I push the right button here. Speaking of button pushing, you know, people are nuts.
Yeah.
People are bleeping nuts.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. Especially, well, here we go. Let me take care of this right now. And for those of you that are subscribed to official SIT Morn on TikTok, our question of the day is, what is your favorite throwback old school jersey? Follow us on official SIT Morn on all of our social media, and you can respond to that as well. People, like I said, people are nuts. People are stupid. People are crazy. Especially with, I hate doing this. I absolutely abhor doing this. I know I got Chris Dietz. We got Chris Dietz at the bottom of the hour. But doggone it, there is something I need to take care of. And I'm going to involve my partner on this. So,
in a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Okay, y'all. I didn't want to do this, but I have to. We know that LeBron is going to eventually, and I do mean eventually, and it makes me sick to say this, break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. You know what that makes LeBron? It just makes him a prolific scorer, because I still say he's chasing ghosts. Why is he chasing ghosts? Because he forever wants to be Michael Jordan. I know he idolized him. I know he's paid tribute to him, but doggone it, stop it. And for all you bronze sexuals who clap like seals in the now infamous promo that we put together, just do me a favor with all of your with all of your takes. Do me a favor, bronze sexuals. Stop the damn cap. Please. Just stop it. All that LeBron is a prolific scorer over the course of 20 years. And of course, last night he dropped 23 in the first half against the Phoenix Suns. Whoopee. Whoopee. You know what that means? He's good in preseason. You know what that means? He's healthy now. There's still that little blip against his record in 2011 when he got outplayed by not only Jason Terry, but J. Barea. But nobody wants to talk about that, do they? Nobody wants to talk about the fact that LeBron got outplayed in a 6-game series against the Dallas Mavericks. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that the Chicago Bulls were screwed in the Eastern Conference Finals series by the damn referees, not allowing them to get to the finals because they wanted it to be all about LeBron in 2011 because he was a member of the Heat. And when LeBron said, "I'm going to take my talents and go to South Beach," that's exactly what he did, because he didn't take anything with him. He did not take a legacy with him because he broke it in half when he left Cleveland. Matter of fact, he broke that legacy in half not once, but twice. So he goes to Miami and lays an egg, not only in 2011, but 2014. So the bookend years that he was in Miami and actually was coached, he laid an egg. He laid a big fat egg. When will you bronze sexuals understand that he is no longer in the candidacy for the greatest player ever? Period. Now, let me throw Patrick Constantine under the bus. Jordan is 2 years older. No. I did this wrong. I did this totally wrong. And to do it right, I've got to open and close this quote the right way. So Patrick Constantine said, quote, "Jordan is 2 years older than me. I have seen him play in the 80s and 90s. And I saw LeBron King James play in the 2000s. LeBron is a more complete player than Jordan. That's why he is the GOAT." Close quote. Patrick Constantine, you have got to be kidding me when you say LeBron is a more complete player. Riddle me this, my friend. Have you seen LeBron's post game? You haven't? I haven't either. Not in 20 years. Have you seen him take a dribble? Have you seen him take a drive to the basket without walking? Or, as the proper term is used, traveling? You haven't? Me neither. Have you seen him not be a blankety blank bull in a china shop? I just want to know these. I just have these questions that I need answered. You haven't? Good. Because all he has been is a bull in a china shop for 20 years. 20. To the point where all he wants to do is chase after the all-time scoring record. He's not chasing after championships. Patrick Constantine, let me ask you this. Has LeBron James ever improved his form on his chicken wing formed jump shot? Has he ever? I just want to know. I just want to know this. Let me answer that question for you. No. Let me answer another question for you. Has LeBron ever, besides 2013, has LeBron ever taken that shot that means everything? I'll answer that question for you right here, right now. Excuse me. Hell no. And now you bronzexuals want to celebrate him getting the all-time record and appointing him the greatest of all time. Are you absolutely kidding me right now? I've had bronzexuals. You know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I have to. So I had a conversation with a bronzexual. And this bronzexual said to me that when, I'm doing it wrong again. This bronzexual said to me, quote, when LeBron James breaks the all-time scoring record, he will be the greatest of all time. Close quote. I respond to that quote with a question. And that question is, who told this lie? Because he's nowhere near the greatest of all time. Matter of fact, I've been in a couple of groups on Facebook and I've stirred hornet's nest by saying he's not even top 100. Oh, that riled him up. That riled him up. And I always get the response of, how can you say such a thing? Easy. He's not top 100. Hell, here's your proof that he's not top 100. When the top 75 was announced in Cleveland, dear God, why was that game in Cleveland? In Cleveland, LeBron James got pretty nice ovation when he was announced. Here's your problem. When Michael Jordan was announced, the roof blew off the joint. Now, you know that's something when the man who broke the hearts of the Cleveland Cavaliers
more than once
series 3 times.
This was a more than once.
You know what happened in 89?
Mm-hmm.
92 was the Eastern Conference Finals when Michael Jordan scored the last 6 points of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, 1993 East semifinals when he hit the shot to complete a sweep.
Right.
So tell me, bronzexuals, what makes him the greatest of all time? Oh, the 25 points against the Detroit
25 in a row. Yes.
25 in a row against the Detroit Pistons.
Now betting about to. Now
ain't done yet. Doggone it. And just to get done, I will say he will never be the greatest of all time, period. Now get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty.
You know it's Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. Why is this playing?
This has been yet another installment of
just in time to miss it, huh?
Confessions.
Now batting, about to tell Brian that it is not Wednesday for Bronze Social Confessions.
Jesus.
Number 420, Wise El Jefe. Number 420.
It seems like I got here just in time to miss it. Didn't I?
Oh, Lord.
What spurred this on? I just don't know what spurred this on.
You got to ask him. This was not on
I
the
will
docket.
explain later.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This. Was not on the docket today.
Okay. All right.
I'll just say it was spurred on at the last minute.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
We'll just let it go. We'll move on.
Okay.
Good morning, my brothers.
Thursday night football tonight. And I've got to sit through it because it's my wife's team, the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. And I'm looking for a tie because the Colts cannot do anything on offense. That was proven last week when they were 7 points behind, had 4 drives to tie the game and didn't do a damn thing.
They already tied.
I want another one.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And the fact that they tied the worst team in the league is even worse.
Yeah, I know. I tore my card up. I tore it up. I tore it up.
And then
my wife.
And then what? Jonathan Taylor's not.
Then Jonathan Taylor is not going to go tonight.
Ooh, yeah.
And they're in Denver against the luckiest 2-2 team I've ever seen in my life.
See, the thing is, the defense isn't so bad until, of course, last Sunday. But that head coach of theirs, Nathaniel Hackett. I never said this about a coach that's only coached
the first 4 letters of his last name should tell you everything you need to know.
And what's worse, appealing to the old school football fan, the both of us, what's worse is that he grew under the table of an bright NFL mind. How in the world could he be this absent-minded as a head coach?
Because he's a head coach.
Some people aren't meant to be head coaches. They're meant to be assistants and offense coordinators.
Thank you, Wise.
I don't even think he was meant to be an offensive coordinator. The only reason why he got put on was because he decided to be a quarterback whisperer for Aaron Rodgers.
My ass.
And the chat helped me out. In the chat, help me out. Panel, help me out. Have you heard of Nathaniel Hackett other than the fact he's the son of Paul Hackett before he was the offensive coordinator for the Packers?
When I heard Nathaniel Hackett was getting a head coaching job, my first question was, who the hell is that?
And I get why they wanted to.
Am I off the board here?
Oh, no, you're not. And
Charles Faulkner is in the house with us.
Woo!
You know what? Woo! You know what? Hey, Faulkner, stand by a minute.
Now,
let me drop. I'm gonna drop this. No, I got a better idea. I got a better idea.
Thank you, Victor.
Let me drop this to Chris, and I'm gonna get Faulkner up here too. But you were saying, sir?
Yeah, I was saying that I get why the Broncos wanted to do this. They wanted Hackett so they could lure Aaron Rodgers. They wanted the ayahuasca taking guy to be their quarterback. So when Rodgers just simply said, "F you Broncos, I'm staying at Lambeau," their whole plans got blown up in their face, and it makes me happy.
Got blown to smithereens.
And now you got Hackett having to deal with a guy who is, in my opinion, a little more athletic than he would want his quarterback to be. And he doesn't know what to do with him.
Why? You look tired.
Oh no, I just got up.
Oh, okay.
I just got up.
You just got up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get my coffee in a few minutes, but I'm just waking up.
You're what? What's that word?
Yeah, get his coffee.
I got to get my
coffee.
He has to get his coffee.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I have nothing but ice water this morning.
Yeah, unlike you, I rose up at 4:30 this morning, 4:30 Eastern.
Okay.
This morning.
All right, no, let's get this correct. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning because I'm up, and I stood up to about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
I love the way you put that. I'm up at 4:30 this morning because I'm up.
Well, it's because I'm usually up prior to that, so even on my days off, I still get up early.
Same.
About 6 something, I was like, you know what? Let me just take an hour nap before the show, and so that's what happened. And it kind of took I had my alarm set for 7:49 or something like that, and I just slept right through it. And I wake up, it's like 8 something. I'm like, oh my god, the show. So
the last couple of weeks, I've had trouble sleeping at night, but
it sounds like my wife.
Funny thing happened when I did get to sleep. I got to sleep last night about 1 because I was up preparing for my game, doing my spot boards and everything, and my desk is a mess because of it. When I finally got to sleep, I turned my alarm on for 6:30 because my wife and I both have 6:30 alarms because I'm usually in here from 6:30 to like 7:45 getting ready, and if I got to run out and get breakfast before I take my meds, I do that. Yeah. Alarm went off. Both of us woke up and we both turned the alarms off instead of hitting the snooze button.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing.
Because
unless you have to be up.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right. And she said, "What time's your show?" I said 8 o'clock. And she said, "Okay." And we looked at our alarms and we looked at our clocks. I beg your pardon. It both said 7:05. And she said, "Okay, 5 more minutes, and we got to get up." Yeah. Next thing you know, it was 8:20.
Yeah, 5 more minutes, like an hour.
5 more minutes becomes an hour.
5 more minutes became an hour and 15 minutes. And we both are up. I agree with Charles. I agree with Mr. Faulkner on this. Someone will pay
him. I don't know if it's going to be the Ravens.
Jackson,
because the way Steve Bisciotti is, Charles, it looks like he wants to stand on the principle that he's not going to pay Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed contract, the likes of which Deshaun Watson has.
So do you think Houston might step up?
No. I already know.
No, that's what Bisciotti thinks.
Listen, I'm already predicting the team that's going to pay him. And it ain't the Ravens and it ain't Houston.
No, it won't be the Texans.
It won't be the Texans. The Texans are too damn cheap. I offer the case of Deshaun Watson.
You could say that again.
I offer the Texans are too damn cheap. I offer the case of Deshaun Watson.
And that's before him.
Exactly.
Yeah, the franchise has been very cheap.
The team that's going to pay Lamar Jackson is going to be the Washington Redskins.
Ooh,
that is not out of the realm of possibility, considering that he wouldn't really be out of the area, and they do need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback back because Carson Wentz ain't it. Charles said he's a damn fool if he doesn't. Yeah, he's a damn fool.
Well, in my opinion, Charles, I really believe Steve Bisciotti is a fool.
He's a damn fool
because he went out in public and planted his goddamn flag onto the ground and said he didn't believe a quarterback of Deshaun Watson's caliber deserved that type of money. And I'm sure he believes that Lamar Jackson's better in terms of stature.
Yep.
So if he feels that way about Deshaun, then it makes me think that he doesn't even want to come near that price tag with the fully guarantee for Lamar Jackson.
No, he doesn't.
He has to. He's first of all, he's a former MVP.
You're proving my point. Exactly.
Second of all, he does not go and get happy endings.
Again, proving my point.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this principle, Biscotti is like, I mean, because it got leaked that he put forth a $250 million contract, $133 million guaranteed.
Yeah, Lamar is an MVP. He needs a Super Bowl level quarterback. I agree with that, but I'll say it again. The team that's going to pay him is not going to be the Ravens. It's not going to be the Texans. The team that's going to pay him is going to be the Washington Redskins.
Because if they get a chance, because if the Ravens get a chance,
because I believe Carson Wentz after this season is out of there.
Because if the Ravens get a chance to just sit on it and think on it and have that feeling of, well, okay, it's another year and we're not in the Super Bowl, it's going to make them lean toward doing the franchise tag on it.
Mm-hmm. And they won't get a chance to do it twice.
They-
Because a team that is not the Houston Texans, a team that is not, who else did we say? That is not the Baltimore Ravens.
It won't be the Ravens either. Yeah.
That's too scared to lock him in. The original team that drafted Lamar Jackson is too scared to lock him in. They won't pay him.
Now,
matter of fact, to the point they don't want to pay him.
That's more to the point. They don't want to pay him. It's not that they don't feel the need to pay him, because I think they understand the price tag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want to come out of that. But I'm sorry, I don't think Biscotti wants to come out of that price tag.
He don't want to come out of his pocket.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to come out of his team's pocket.
And I discussed this on Cold Sports. I did a Hartford review on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I detailed it in that way.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing against Lamar. It's the organization.
That I push a little bit back on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lamar's better than 99% of all the QBs in the NFL. I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm saying he's really good, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's 1, 2, or 3.
And to think.
Okay, so who is 1, 2, and 3?
Okay,
Mahomes?
Before we do that, we got someone waiting.
All right.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dates.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Here's Chris. Good morning, Dates.
And you're muted,
right.
sir.
You're muted.
There you go.
Am I
You're
good?
You're good now.
You're
got you.
All right. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
All right. Let me jump in on this real quick.
Please do.
So we know Lamar Jackson won an MVP
Mm-hmm.
three years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unanimously.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay him.
No, he's not. I'm sorry. No, he's
So
not.
you're
My bad.
no. So you guys. So you
No,
guys are saying
that wasn't you. That was the
Faulkner.
Sorry
Let's
about
welcome,
that.
Let's welcome.
So
Red
you
Scorpion
guys.
over
So
there.
you guys are saying pay him top dollar money for an MVP season 3 years ago when he has regressed dramatically from there, and not to mention the playoff game against the Buffalo Bills is still in his head.
No, that's
I
not
don't
what
care
I'm
what
saying.
anybody says. Go watch
That's not
that
what
game.
I'm
Go
saying.
watch that game last weekend. You had all-star Lamar Jackson in the first half, and then what happened? In the second half, when things got tight, when things started to go, what happened? Oh, he faded and couldn't bring the team back. So let me go back to the chat and say this. MVP, yes. What Super Bowl caliber is Lamar? Because what Super Bowl has he played in?
He hasn't.
He's not Super Bowl caliber. He's not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback because he hasn't stepped on a Super Bowl field yet.
Yeah, the home field advantage in 2019, and the Tennessee Titans took care of that.
No, I'm not saying that he's worthy of the contract in terms of what you just displayed. The market is bearing it out. So it doesn't matter if we feel as though he's deserving or worthy of it. The quarterback market now is here, thanks to Jimmy Haslam putting pen to paper, or forcing Deshaun Watson to put pen to paper, signing a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract.
That contract, you can almost throw that one in the garbage. Thanks to Kyler Murray's contract.
And now look at the fallout. Exactly, and that's one of them.
But the
Kyler Murray contract.
But to go back to Steve Biscotti, I mean, Biscotti is he was one of the forefront of it. He was at the forefront of saying you can't pay a quarterback all this money and not pay everybody else.
Not even 2 weeks after that contract was signed in Cleveland, he actually went to the media and said that. And so my thought immediately when he said that was, oh boy, that means he's not going to get Lamar what Lamar wants in their contract negotiation.
Right. Charles, the link's in the chat. Come on up and join the discussion. We'd love to have you and get your opinion on this. For those of you in the chat, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
This is the problem with a salary cap league. You cannot pay a guy for what he's done already. You can't pay a guy like Lamar Jackson all that money for something that happened 3 years ago. You can't reward that, because guess what? If you sign him to a 6-7 year deal, in year 5 and 6 of that deal, you're going to be sitting there going, "What the hell did we do?"
Well, that's and I think, if you frame it from that aspect, he's coming off of an injury year, so I think they already are asking that question.
Yeah. But see, my question is,
I'm sorry, bro. And then before he got injured, he had a stretch of 3 or 4 games, so he was horrible.
But see, my question is, after the MVP season, why didn't they lock him in then? Why didn't they lock him in when he won unanimous MVP?
Because they had him on a rookie contract. Gotcha. It wouldn't have made any sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They already had him locked in.
Good call. Charles Faulkner in the house. Finally got him on the morning show with me. Good morning, Charles.
Morning, man.
Whoa!
Woo! What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up, Cole?
What's up, Charles?
I'm so happy we finally got you on the morning show, Charles. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this: Lamar has done more than a lot of quarterbacks in his pocket right now. If we were talking about a lot of other people, this wouldn't be a discussion for multiple reasons. When Lamar has a game, notice Lamar's been throwing the fuck out of that ball.
True.
And what did everybody say? Oh, he should go as a running back or wide receiver.
And that's what a lot of teams
in the draft, right?
And that's what a lot of teams wanted him to do. They wanted him to change positions, and Lamar wasn't having it.
He's like, no, not having it. I'm a quarterback. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
And then you got to look at the work he's put in over this season, over this off season. He's put on more muscle. His accuracy is like impeccable. And then on top of that, the losses we had as a fucking staunch down Ravens fan, it's incredible to say it. It's the fucking secondary. You have a very brand new secondary.
Yeah.
That if they would have shut down, if you would have had 1 over 1 under on Tyreek Hill, shut down that bullshit.
Which I still don't understand why that.
If you would have had a middle linebacker who can tackle. You're looking at a guy who's 4-0, and the subject matter would dramatically change. You're looking at a guy who's putting up numbers with his feet and with his legs. And right now, I don't know why. I'm gonna be blunt and very controversial. If it was a white quarterback doing the same shit as Lamar, we wouldn't have this discussion.
You're looking at a guy who's putting up 20 of 29 for 144 and 2 interceptions last week.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
Charles, to a point-
The Dolphins L, yes, I put that in the secondary.
Yes.
The Bills out, I do not put that in the Bills but the Ravens secondary. I put that, to me, I put that on the coaching staff.
I'm gonna speak to that for a second, Cole.
Go ahead.
Right now, because I know you got 2 new guys and a few injuries, especially 2 new guys who are in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the problem with being the Ravens is that you're spoiled by the historical implications of the defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
How that basically they are predicated on this is a defensive team first. Yeah.
And here it is where you literally had played, like, I mean, goddamn, how many players in the 2001 and 2012 who are fucking Hall of Famers or will be?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
will be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Haloti Nada's going to go.
Right.
Definitely, even though he's on offense, Marshall Yonder, if he doesn't make it, I say it's sham. The Hall of Fame's a sham, but Marshall Yonder doesn't go.
I say it's a sham because Roger Craig hasn't gotten his shine, and I've been talking about Roger Craig getting in the Hall of Fame for years, man.
Yeah, and it's funny because now what I really think they need to do, they need to sit them boys down and actually, you know what, get some of these Hall of Famers, get some of these old players, and be like, no, this is how Ravens play football.
Yes,
definitely.
It's no different when I wrestled and I had to sit down wrestlers and be like, look, you're good because of your physical talents.
Right. Now go ahead and prove it.
It's the old saying what they say about the 3 periods of wrestling. The first period is usually the better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
The second period is whoever's the better technician. The third period is the guy who's in the best shape and wants it more.
Right.
And the same thing has to be done with this team. The coaching staff, I don't know who said, okay, let's go for it on 4th. Kick the goddamn ball. I'm going to make you. And what he said at the press conference let me know that he doesn't have the greatest confidence in his defense.
Oh, totally. Totally, bro. Totally.
And
yes.
Agreed.
And
100% agree with that.
And unfortunately, look, there's no fucking reason why. And I do believe in the 2. If you need, let me back up. It's early. 1, we also get spoiled because we had a goddamn Terrell Suggs in people's absence.
Yeah. Underrated pass rusher. Yes.
Decide one of the top sack masters of all time. Show it. Decide what you're going to do with Patrick Queen. Is he going to be the cover line? Is he going to be the cover linebacker, or is he rushing? Or send somebody, put a motherfucker with him in the middle, so they can rush and he covers everybody, or smacks the hell out of them.
Yeah.
To me, I always said they should have put about 15 pounds more muscle on them, and make people fear. Put the fear of God in people. Yes, I know it's a different league, but the whole thing, like going back even to the Lamar thing, you got guys who have even worse nights. Like I made sure I watched that game between Brady and Rodgers.
Yeah.
Both look ordinary.
Both
they both
look shaky this year.
Yes.
Of course, Tom is going through a divorce. I think who filed, because mostly I think Tom is probably getting rid of
it. It looks like it's leaning towards Giselle filing, but
and I know the reason why.
Yeah.
The reason that Giselle is filing, and I want to get Chris's thoughts on this. Tom Brady was supposed to retire, come home
after last year,
with the kids, and then
1 month of that.
After that,
1 month of it.
1 month after that, he said, "I'm coming back to play another season."
Wow.
And Giselle said, "Enough's enough." Let me go to Chris and get your thoughts on that, Chris.
I don't know why you came to the unmarried guy about that, but Tom's looking at the. I mean, you could look at it both ways. Like she was like, "Oh, I'm finally gonna have Tom home. I'm finally gonna have support." And Tom Brady was like, "No, I got more left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
I got more left in the tank." And guess what? Like when I leave the game, I can't go back. When the game passes me by, you can't go back to it. So
very true.
So if you've still got the itch to play and you still got the ability, you gotta soak it up. You gotta soak it up when you can.
Charles, your thoughts on this?
Come on in, Sick.
Do you want me to get red pill this early in the morning?
Yes.
You already have, bro.
I mean, do you need permission to get red pill here? Hell no, you don't.
Yeah, fire off, brother.
I'm gonna get red pill for a second.
Fire away, man.
I'm gonna go back on that old 50 cal I used to man in Iraq. You know, get that M4 draped over my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, don't
210 rounds.
Man, okay.
You know, I mean, we could take it to the streets of Baltimore when I was running and gunning with a 40 cal on my right hip and an Esprit tune made out of Coca-Cola in my goddamn hand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna say this, and my father taught me this as a young lad, as they say. Women see the price of something; it takes men to see the value in it.
That's some wise stuff from your old man.
Agreed.
Do I need to say it again for the people in the back?
Say it again.
A woman sees the price of something. It takes a man to truly see the value of it. That hits you like a goddamn. That hits you like a jab from my man Larry Holmes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this.
Hard straight jab.
See,
Goodness gracious.
Like a pistol. Like when it comes to saying I'm great at something and I'm really that damn good, there's very few times that men get, especially in this gynocentric world we live in.
Bring it.
That we could say I'm that damn good. I'm him. I'm that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I decide what I end. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my destiny. And eventually, you know what? It's like the Osley Brothers song, I Got Work to Do.
That's right.
And she doesn't even understand Tom Brady the way a man on the street would understand Tom Brady. And you go to bed with him. You get what I'm saying? She doesn't understand the drive. See, it's very hard to talk to women. That's why majority of the women I've dated were athletes, because they understand that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They understand, and it makes us men. We are men because of what we create, what we destroy, what we conquer, what we win. We're competitive.
Yeah.
And when you have a lady who's like, you know, I want to make this lion use a litter box now, it's very hard on the psyche, because it's like, okay, you divorced me. Remember, you make more on paper.
And she does. And she does, yeah.
I mean, is that going to really benefit you? Because now what do you get? Because I like to say it. She's never going to go back to a Tom Brady level guy. She's not. I don't care how pretty she is.
No, she won't.
Go ahead,
What does Giselle make more? What does she own? A bunch of businesses, or does she own like a line? Or
supermodel?
She's a supermodel, and I think
guess what? Guess what? That time is finite. That supermodel time, she's gonna get passed over in a year or two.
Actually, Deets, if I may.
Go ahead, Sick.
No, go right ahead. I have no idea. I have no idea what Giselle does.
Yeah, okay. Let me show you something. First of all, before I say what I think, excuse me, Charles, but ooh yeah. Macho man, go do what you did. Next boy,
I get Charles in. I get Charles
Anyway.
I get Charles and Sick on the morning show. I'm loving this.
It's
I'm
a
absolutely
lovely
loving
day. You gotta
It's a lovely
realize this. You gotta realize this real quick.
Okay.
See, when you're a champion, you can never take that back away from a person.
And you want that, taste again.
It's addictive. When I wrestle, and when my first year of wrestling, I lost my first match, but that same year I won a championship. That shit was more addictive than crack. Okay.
Yes.
You want that taste of being a champion again.
Want that championship.
That's like I will do unspeakable harmful things to a person who tries to keep me away from it. Just to get back in that scene.
Back there. Yeah.
Everybody wants to keep going. That's why people play Sunday morning beer league softball. So they can feel like they're playing, they can feel like a champion again.
But the difference, right, is that even at 45, he actually could still play. And now, is he going to be like he was at 30? No. But he still can play. I mean, he threw for over 5,000 yards last year.
I mean, it's like Jordan at the Wizards. If Jordan never got hurt during the Wizards, plays, that was a very high contending team. Remember that before he got hurt, they were contenders.
Yeah,
and the thing that people don't realize about Jordan, and I will say this to everyone that challenges me about MJ, his final season, he played all 82 games.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
On a bad knee.
A lot of people don't even know it.
On a bad knee.
They don't.
Everybody says about Jordan, he only played this many seasons, or he took 2 years off. He didn't take 2 years off. His 2 years off was playing baseball, which is hard on your body. Playing baseball every day.
And
riding
the second year,
bus,
he actually came back to
riding
play
a bus
basketball.
in the minor leagues. It sucks.
I'm gonna put it to you this way, bro. This is the reason why Jordan's the GOAT.
Bring it.
One, from 1990 to 1998, Jordan's never lost 2 games in a row.
Never.
He's never lost. He's only lost 1 series when he played with 1 All-Star on his team ever. Then on top of that, you got to remember when people, especially a lot of the guys I coach for wrestling.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jordan Burroughs, who got the record for most world and Olympic titles in American history now. Oh, that's a bad motherfucker. Still going in. Cut like a bag of the Colombian dope, too. God damn. And it's funny, right? When you look at LeBron and they say, well, LeBron passed him in points and all this. He should. He played longer.
Right.
I said, here's the thing that I told people.
He should. Jordan had 3 years. Jordan had to be held out of the league for 3 years.
Played longer, and he started earlier in his
pro basketball career,
and accomplished more quicker. And then on top of that, what about Jordan's perfect season? Who's matched that?
Nobody.
No one.
Nobody.
Even Jordan didn't match it.
You got to think about it. There are some things that sports-wise and that people just don't know. Hell, even when I talk to Neymar or God damn it, this is the reason why I don't wake up early.
I don't blame you. All right.
Snowman.
I don't blame you. But I wanted to explain something to Deets earlier. Now, first of all, by the way, Wise, one question.
Yes, my brother.
Man, you got braids? You sporting box braids?
Nah, man. I have to wash up a little, man, because it's.
All right. You almost had me nostalgic, man. I just now missing my old box braids, man.
My man Wise look
let me
like
say good morning. Let me say good morning to Latina and Callie, who's with us.
Good
morning. Good morning to you. And she throws this point at us, and this is for Charles. Women have problems answering a yes or no question and try to give elaborate answers if they're lying, in my opinion. And you know something?
You a strong woman for saying that. Latina.
Listen,
wow.
You're a strong woman that will get the sisterhood.
Been there, done that saw that.
Wow, I give you mad props for that, Latina. Yeah, I agree with you.
Big shout out to Latina. Oh, sorry. Big shout out to Latina for coming by yesterday and showing me love on the program that I had yesterday afternoon. So thanks, Latina. I appreciate you.
But
I got to invite everybody to come over on the show.
But why is all of that anyway? That's why we all show. That's why we all show love to Wise when he's on.
Okay,
No, I'm just saying, stop by. So I just give her props.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me go back, bro. Go back to Sick. Go ahead.
All right. First of all, let me make a couple points. To answer fifth down here, what he asked me about, Giselle. First of all, I hear what you're saying about there's a finite, the career window of a model is very small. I understand that, right? But the smart ones, they transition to the other aspects of the fashion industry. Like they get involved in certain lines of products, cosmetics and such like that, clothing lines, fashion, everything. So that's how they branch out. So she's got a bit of she's developed a bit of a. Hold on. So she has that discipline, she has that business sense, and so she's moved on to other things. So her issue with
Brady is he isn't doing the same thing.
It's keeping his word. I think it's also a thing about this whole thing about, men, we value honesty and trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let me play devil's advocate when I say this. When you go back on your word with your woman, that's the point of no return. You understand what I'm saying with that?
It really is
a wonderful point, especially when she's a strong, independent woman. Because
that's a wonderful point. That's
three of us here are married to 3 strong, independent women, and I'm sure if we were to try to pull some stuff like that, they would not be having it either.
They would not be happy.
Oh, I know mine wouldn't be.
They would not be happy at all.
Yeah, I know. Under certain circumstances, it's understandable. Like, say if you guys made a promise to have a child, but unfortunately, some unforeseen circumstances throw a monkey wrench in that, so you guys might have to postpone it, some things like that. Then they'd probably be understanding about it. They wouldn't be happy about it, but at least they would try to understand, or at least have make some attempt to understand it. But this about Brady, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to hang it up. Basically, I mean, you think a guy that great would probably take that energy, especially if you're I remember somebody like Napoleon Hill once said, take that creative energy and transition to other aspects of the sport. I know you love the game and it's addictive, but sometimes you want to transition to other aspects of the game. I mean,
that's not Tom Brady though. That's never been Tom Brady. Tom Brady wants to go out on top.
I know.
He wants another one.
He's not getting another one. That's not happening.
It's not happening. He's 45, dude. I know he's got the drive.
They're still going to make the playoffs. They're still going to make the playoffs because the NFC South is absolute garbage.
Chris.
Yeah, it is.
Chris. Chris,
let me do something. Gentlemen, let me do something. Gentlemen, let me do something really quick. As we are at the top of hour 2, we got a full house. I'm going to do a quick transition into hour 2, and then we'll come back to this.
Because we take on your mark, get set, let's go. Because we take this job so serious.
All of it, between 2 people and 4 nostrils, all of it was gone.
LeBron James is pure, unadulterated trash as a basketball player and has been for 20 years. We don't want to see that. Wait a minute. We don't want to see
Number 420. Wise El Jefe. Number 420.
I had to do it. Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Everything's on the board as we begin hour 2. Dietz is with me, along with Wise and Cole Johnson, and Charles Faulkner is here. Sig Diggy is along with us, and we're talking about the Tom Brady Giselle Bundchen situation, and that's where we'll pick it up here, right? And that's where we'll pick it up here, man. And Latina made a wonderful point and we'll pick it up from there about women not answering a direct question. And she says, that's my personal experience and observations of women. They don't like women like me around because we smell their BS, and they always think I'm competition when I'm just friends with other men. The top of that point describes my wife, because some people don't like my wife being around because she's been through it. And she could detect when BS is going on. Drew Willingham is with us, and he just found out that he's battling COVID. Oh, my brother, been there.
Get well, brother. We love you, man.
Get well, man. Get well.
Been
Okay,
there.
But
I remember when I
so
had my balance of COVID. Get well with that when I was hospitalized 3 times off of that shit.
Yeah.
so
It nearly
3 times, Charles? Wow.
damn, Charles.
He almost died.
They were about to put me on a respirator. I said, "Fuck no."
Oh my gosh.
Thank God you got it. Thank God you didn't.
The grace of God you alive, bro.
I wish my mom would have heard about that shit.
You know what the difference is? You know what the difference is? That we're married to 3 very strong, independent women.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So for them, they're no nonsense. Like my wife won't put up with a lot. She doesn't put up with a lot of my crap, and she calls me out on a lot of my crap, and I love her for it. I love it for the fact that saying she's not. She doesn't push back when she doesn't have to, and she lets me take control when I have. But for the most part, she's a very independent woman that knows what she wants, and so for that case, go ahead.
There's more to this. There's more to this Tom Brady and Giselle thing than just it can't be. Oh, he went back to play football. I'm going to divorce him like that. That's not. There's more to this.
I agree.
No, I believe it's what Six said.
There's a lot more. There's got to be a lot more.
But I believe there's
a lot more to this.
But I believe what Six said is at the crux of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that she felt okay. Tom Brady said, "All right, after the 2022 season, look, I know I was probably supposed to hang it up when the Patriots wanted to get rid of me, and you rode with me when I took my talents to Tampa, and I basically and I'm thinking he had like a year by year thing. It's like, okay, we'll see how we go after the year's up, and I think she felt, and I think Tom probably did say, okay, after year 2, if we don't get to the Super Bowl, I'll see how I feel, and I probably will retire if we don't make it there. And they didn't make it, and I think he made that promise.
So I have a question. You guys are married. You guys are married on 9. So, do you think Tom just made this decision, like, and was like, "Hey, I'm coming back. Screw everybody else." Like, didn't even run it by his wife, like. Do you guys do that?
I think he soft shoot. I personally think he soft shoot.
I'm not even going to tell my wife I'm doing this.
No, I think he soft shooted. I think it was like, I thought I was going to hang it up and be with the children, but I think I got a little bit more left. And I think he was like that throughout the process, more than saying, "Okay, Giselle, I'm retiring," and then just tippy-toe out the room.
I think it's a case of a lot of men when they reach their retirement and they're by their kids, they'd be like, "Damn, I love my kids, but fuck these kids. I need to go back to work."
And I think that's exactly what happened.
I believe what you do, Charles. I believe what you just said. What you just said is a big part of it.
Verbatim
is climbing in Tom's head. I really believe that's a big part of it. That hasn't come out yet, but I expect it to very soon. What you just
to go back to 6 point about everything about Tom Brady. Tom Brady probably looked at this and said, "Wait, he came back and he's making what, $15 million for what, 9 months of work?" I mean, Tom Brady is never, no matter what Tom Brady does in his future, Tom Brady's never going to make $15 million for 9 months of work.
100 pool.
Like, that's not
Yeah, but
happening.
he has a $300 million contract waiting for him.
Yeah, that he does.
Yeah.
Here's Cool McCain's point. It
Okay.
feels like she didn't want this, and that's why she stopped supporting him. That's the part that's got her heated.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, everybody. And oh, by the way, he has a TV contract waiting for him as the number one color guy on Fox.
And by the way, we also forgot one point.
What's that?
We lost 1 point of biology, man. See, I'm trying not to be red pill this early. See, usually I do the red pill shit on my show, and I'm trying to say this in the nicest way. See, there might have been a hint of jealousy that this man stop, because you got to think, modeling, you only have like a maybe at best 5-year window. And if you don't put your chips in early, like, get some businesses, get some contracts, you could put. You may be out there. You might be out there in the Hustler Club, doing lap dances for a couple of thousand.
Not for dollars, for real. That's the currency of Brazil. But what I wanted to say was, Deeds, like we talked about the whole thing about, wanting that drive always is dying. That drive never dies and such, right? Now, you're a wrestling fan like myself and Charles. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go back to everybody else who's a wrestling fan. If you guys can find it, the intro. Just hear me out. The intro to the 2001 Royal Rumble. There's that intro where it's about a minute long and everything, and what the narrator says in it: to have been to Eden and tasted its fruit is far worse than to have never been there at all. And now tonight, 30 men, championship junkies, all fighting for the opportunity for the richest prize in ever, a chance for the world title.
I can tell you now that back in '92 when I won the Rumble, whoa, man, God damn it, whoa, I'm still the man. See, you gotta understand something. We forgot, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And Brady is addicted, unlike LeBron, to winning championships.
Yeah.
Okay. Brady is totally addicted. Let me make this point.
Go ahead.
Brady is totally addicted to winning championships. Unlike LeBron, Brady is totally addicted, and he wants. And the way that he was so close to getting by the Rams, stuck in his craw.
Oh,
because the Rams,
it probably still sticks in his craw.
The Rams had no business.
Not as much as the Giants games.
Go ahead, Charles.
Not as much as those 2 giant losses at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Well,
Brady
he can't do anything with those 2 giants losses, though. Nor the Eagles loss. But the most recent big time losses to the Rams in the divisional round. So he's still salty about that.
The Eagles loss, I think, is the biggest loss that sticks with him.
Because he was the one to contribute to the L.
Yep.
Directly contributed to
because he dropped a throwback pass and he coughed up the football late in the fourth quarter when they were driving to take the lead. So I think that one sticks in his craw. The 2 losses to Eli, that's going to stick with him forever.
Oh yeah, he still lives with that. Yeah. But I mean, present in mind,
in
forefront.
But
I agree with you because I got to go, gents. I agree with you. Right. If we're going to tie this to wrestling, yeah, Brady is like Ric Flair, because here in this city 2 months ago, Flair supposedly had his last match, but that
he's gonna want another one.
He still wants to put the tights on, put the boots on, and still go in the ring and bump, because that's just him. It's in him.
That's just who he is.
Wrestling is in Flair's blood, just like football is in Tom Brady's blood, and he already is going to be a color guy when he hangs it up. So
he's going to forever be around. He's going to forever be around football.
Yeah. So Tom Brady has the "I want to walk down that aisle" disease, just like Flair does.
Silent profile.
Yeah,
but is that not Cole, buddy? See, Cole, you gotta understand. Well, you're the man. It's like the finest of cognac. It's like the finest of cigars. It's like the finest of women.
I love
It's so hard. See, the problem is like a gold detective. I'll actually tell you both. I'll tell you the saying she said last, but I'll tell you
Oh
the
my
saying
God!
from.
I can see it now. I can see it now. We're gonna have Cole Johnson in Baltimore, and Charles is gonna show him all around some of the best cigar lounges. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh Lord,
drinking the best liquor, but you know, got the
if that's the
cigars,
case,
liquor.
if that's the case, if that's the case, he's gonna show all of us around.
He
Oh,
better.
yeah.
We'll all come out.
Which network offered Tom Brady that
Fox.
ridiculous
Fox.
contract?
Fox.
And-
37.5 mil a year for 10 years is waiting for him once he retires.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. That's going to be a disaster.
Let's go to Charles.
Tom Brady.
Charles,
Tom Brady is not. Tom Brady is not. Tom Brady is not. He's not. He's not. He doesn't. Like, I know people will come to watch Tom Brady after the first 4 games that you see Tom Brady do. If he doesn't knock it out the box, you're going to be like, okay, so he's going to be like Jason Witten.
It's going to be like John Unitas when he tried it as being a color guy.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he knew the sport.
Hey, there's some people that can do
personal enough on camera to explain the game the way that like a Tony Romo could.
Like, well, Romo basically, everybody know Romo. Romo
and
was the guy working in the car, but like, hey, you want to play some football? Sure.
Chris, let me go. Chris, let me go to Charles.
He's
Charles,
not Peyton Manning.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning has comical chops and that big ass head.
Exactly.
And it's like the thing about it is that every man, especially service people, know this, and first responders know it, especially when they retire. It's so hard living a life as Clark Kent when you've been Superman for so long.
Yeah,
that transition is hard.
Yeah.
And it's a different saying towards why so many female police officers date so many male police officers, and it's kind of the one saying that I heard in the academy, which is funny. It always makes me laugh. She's like, "Why do they cheat on their husbands?" Well, it's hard to go home to Clark Kent when you've been hanging around Superman all day long,
right?
And it's funny because when we look at this aspect of Brady, it's going to be the man. It circles back to the Lamar thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pay me as the man, respect me as the man, let me be the man.
Yeah.
And when you have, and I like to say this, you guys who are married, you don't have independent wives, you have dependable wives. Independents keep women single.
Thank you for saying that.
Agreed.
Yes.
The independents keep women
interdependent.
Yes. You know, you got an interdependent and dependable.
Right.
Because an independent woman is not dependable. She's self-serving. And remember, when your woman should be your counsel, and you have even though a man should have the final say, the woman should be the wise counsel. And
brother.
A lot of
certainly is.
Speak that.
A lot of times, even in sports, we see real red pill situations roll out. And I said, look, if she doesn't like the fact that this man's back playing, and it's not a good reason, I can't fly with that. Yes, I understand. You'd be like, I don't want him to get hurt. That's normal stuff that your lady's gonna do. Because she cares.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, every woman that's married to their man should know their men. They should know what drives them, what gets them out of the bed, what keeps them in the bed. It's that drive. Do I think Brady will retire this year? I think so.
Yeah, I think he will now. Yeah,
I think so.
I think the Bucks are driving him to retirement by. I mean, no, they don't have any wide receiver.
And the problem is he's not going to go home after he retires.
No, he's not.
No, it's who wants to go back to a excuse my language, a shit show when you're basically the greatest player the NFL has ever known.
Yeah.
Who wants to go back to that show? It's like, I look at everybody knows I'm a big collegiate Olympic style wrestling fan. I'm a big MMA fan and boxing fan.
Yeah.
What there's a lot of stuff I see, like, where do we pay homage to people like this? Because in today's world, we don't really have too many spaces outside of sports where men get the accolades they deserve.
True.
So when you get out of the sport, oh, you're just Tom Brady. Nobody gives a damn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how some people who don't know sports, even though Tom Brady should be common enough for people to know what Tom Brady has accomplished.
Right.
But this is what happened in the modern day outside of sports. Oh, well, you just could do this. I'm a social worker who makes 45,000. I'm knocking social workers. Well, particular ones I will. And it's hard for this guy to say, hey, wait a minute. I made all this money. My wife's not supporting me. Okay, let's let the chips fall where they lay.
And that's the biggest that's the biggest thing, when the support from your partner stops. When it stops, it turns something inside of a man. I went through a relationship in 2016 where one moment the lady I was dating supported me from minute one, and she knew I was running a business. I was out hustling, trying to get sponsors. I was covering Michigan City football. She came to visit me, went to a game with me. We were in Maryville. And then she drove back, called me. And her first question to me was, when are you going to wake up and wise up and realize that you can't do this? What?
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah, that's.
I got a call from her, and not even saying hi or I miss you or anything like that. Her first question to me was, when are you going to wake up and grow up? That was her exact quote to me. When are you going to wake up and grow up and get everything together?
That's some emasculating shit.
What?
Yeah, it sucks.
That royally pissed me off. And that's why I didn't talk to her as much. After that, I knew and felt she was pulling her support from me.
I know one thing you probably felt. It was like sleeping with the enemy.
Yep.
And I remember one of my ex-girlfriends, because everybody knows I was in the Army at 17.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you for your service.
Thank you. And it was funny because my ex-girlfriend in 1920, she was like, well, when are you going to get out? Well, it's this thing called an obligation, this contract. I'm not trying to go to like Leavenworth for being AWOL. But,
right.
You should get out. You should get out. And then we broke up. And then years later, guess what happened?
What?
Her ass go to the goddamn Coast Guard.
Just to keep it safe.
See how everybody wants you to dumb yourself down, but they just want you to give them room for them to be great.
Yeah.
See, a real woman, a real wife, a real girlfriend, she doesn't mind being the stars when you're the sun. She doesn't mind being the moon. See, women want a man that they can look up to. They can aspire. They want that man to be the provider and their hero. When women stop looking at you like that, that's destructive, man. And I think a little bit of everything we touched on is going through that. Because nowadays you look at their family, it can't be financial because combined they're most likely worth over $1 billion.
Yeah.
So it's not what we're learning right now. Money doesn't keep you together. Money doesn't create happiness.
No.
You are responsible for your happiness. You are responsible. A person can decrease or increase it, but they cannot put happiness in you in its totality.
Speak that.
And fundamentally so, we look at these athletes, There's a reason why sports is so captivating. It's because it's primal. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of know-how.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's an alternative to war. It's an alternative to war when you think about it, because the way teams are rivalry, it's about
creative
combat.
sport is to lessen the chance of people dying. And
Yeah.
Modern day gladiators.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're in the Coliseum. We're in the Coliseum watching modern day gladiators.
And that's what, and wise. That's a point you brought up several times this week during the show. What football is? It's modern day gladiators.
And it is. It is. It's something to entertain us. It's here to entertain us and distract us.
Mm-hmm.
We all love it. Let's not get it wrong. We all love it and everything, but it's here to entertain us. And for me, I'm blessed to have a woman that saw that this is something I'm good at and was like, what can we do to make this a business? What can we do to what? So she helped me create my LLC. She encouraged me to do it. She had my back 100% because she saw what I'm capable of doing.
Same.
And to have someone have your back like that is you can't deny something like that. You can't, like, having your spouse support you in what you do and believe in what you're doing. It's the ultimate reward. It's like, okay, good. She sees where the potential is. She sees what we can make from this. She's like, yo, we're gonna build this up so you can retire me, and I'm all for that.
That's the same thing that Jody says to me every day. You know, she jokes around with me and says, "Have you started making your millions yet?" And I said, "I'm still working at it." And then she'll come over and give me a hug, and she says, "I know you're busting your ass to get there." But it's something that we've made now a huge priority, and we're doing it together. She's getting her business together. I'm getting mine together, you know, and this is something I've told Charles and I've told Sick this.
Mm-hmm.
When your significant other really jumps in your corner and really, really cinches in to you and your dreams, right? That some bitch to the wheels fall off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me, Brian.
28 after the hour, Dietz is with us along with Wise, and we got a full house with Charles Faulkner and Sick Diggy with us as well. Man, this has been a great conversation.
Excuse me, Brian.
Yes.
If I may, just want to add a couple of things. I'm gonna try to. There's this meme I'm looking for. I'm gonna send it to you. It's of Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony, where he sits on sitting at a table and there's a chess set read him with all the pieces, and it says, and the caption says, "If she doesn't understand the importance of protecting the king, she doesn't deserve to be the queen." Now, second thing I want to mention to Dietz regarding transitions and such, like we're talking about football players not able to hang it up. One player I've realized after looking at the Tom Brady thing is John Elway, with the utmost respect. Like they asked him, would you want to go back and win do a three-peat? And he realized, nah, I'm good. He retired. He quit while he was still ahead. And then what happened? He transitioned, ended up and found himself in the front offices of the Broncos organization.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to transition because he knew his playing days are over. You know, and that's the problem with Chris. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's like you
sure you're all right. You sure you're all right, Deeds?
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't know. Look like you might have an allergy or some shit going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I got something going on. But I'll figure it out. I'm just looking at it. I'll figure it out.
And as I was saying, like, you know, as I was saying, Elway, he understood, he loved the game. And when he got that first championship, you know, it gave him that goal to want and go get a second one.
Mm-hmm.
But when he thought about getting the third one, he was like, he took stock of everything, took an honest look at himself, and realized, I'm good.
I think you saw that with Elway when he got introduced at the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, he was ready for competition, but when they built that big lead, I think he knew that he was going to walk away, that he was going to retire. Dietz, let me come
that
to you.
was a different story because you got to remember Elway had been there twice.
Right.
Yes.
Elway had been there twice before and gotten blown and gotten blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
he got blown.
Elway, that was the culmination of Elway was at the culmination of what he was doing.
Yeah.
And Elway knew. Elway was a smart guy. He knew I wasn't doing this. He knew, all right, 2,000-yard seasons from Terrell Davis, those ain't gonna last.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Terrell had to end his career early too, because you remember, was it like he had some injuries and shit?
So he was looking at that. He wasn't where Tom Brady threw for 5,000 yards last year. It's not like Tom Brady is like, hanging on and Tampa Bay is winning, despite him. Like he's still the guy. Like, so the transition for Tom Brady, that's the thing about Tom Brady. Like, would Tom Brady, if you're a player, would Tom Brady be able to take that Fox contract knowing I could have played, I could be out there playing?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Instead, I'm up here in the booth. It would kill him. The same way it killed Jason Witten. What Jason Witten, when he was with ESPN, wanted to be out on the field so bad that he left ESPN and went back and played another 2 years.
He went back and played. Yeah.
Yeah.
He suited back up because the fear of missing out. And he was missing out. Let me acknowledge F. Holiday for the drop on the Cash App. Thank you for that. If you guys can, you can support the show via Cash App. The tag you need is $Tallman Dr. K50. Got a full house here this morning. Myriad of subjects we're talking about. And Chris, I'm glad you brought up Jason Witten. And I'm glad you brought up basically the fear of missing out. That's what happened to Witten. He missed playing the game so much. As you said, he left ESPN and went back and played for 2 years.
Just like in music. Musicians, they can, even though they've been successful, look at all these old rock groups, those legends. How many of them are still touring? Even though they're secure financially, they still touring because they can't give it up. They can't sit back and relax. I mean,
yeah.
By the way, this October, like I mentioned, this month, what's his name? Billy Paul, his album 360 Degrees of Billy Paul is turning 50 this year. Me and Mrs. Jones, that album. He retired 2 years before he passed away. No, he retired like in 89 or something like that, and then he passed away comfortable in his retirement. How many people, because a lot of guys, just the thing about retirement is it's like that you don't want to go out there with no regrets. And some people have a hard time living with regrets. My father, he retired, but he's content because thankfully, or maybe it's because I come from a different culture, I'm saying this. But I remember my father, he's content where he is in his life. There's this old couple I know. They're from the former Yugoslavia. They're in their 70s, 60s, 70s, I think. Yeah. The wife, she was teaching our Norwegian classes and everything. Her husband, despite his age, he still does like doing manual work. He was able to transition. And then I asked, and I looked, and I already understood why. And I had to explain to his wife, he's like a shark. He's got to keep moving because if he stops, he drowns. And for him, he's just trying to find something to do, finding meaning in his life. So that's the problem with Tom. He does not know how to live outside of outside of football. I mean,
outside of football.
I mean, look, y'all remember Heat? Y'all remember the movie Heat, the infamous restaurant scene between where De Niro and Pacino were talking to each other, right? And they looked at each other and said, "I can't do anything." They're like, I don't know how to do anything else besides this. Neither do I.
Let me get Charles. What's your thought on that comment? Oh wait,
he's muted.
Charles still there?
He's muted. We're here. We're here.
Hold on a second.
I kind of.
Candyman from Maringo. I was going to say that.
Go ahead, Charles.
When it comes to being great, it's a heavy burden. It's a great thing, but it's a heavy burden.
Oh yeah,
because
it is.
People expect you to keep being great and recurring it. I know I go back to my wrestling days, but my coach told me you're no longer the dark horse after that first championship. Everybody's gunning for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain level of ego, confidence, swagger you have to be the man.
True.
It's very hard when you have to let things go, but you need to make your peace before the end. But I'm about to get out of here, folks. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, brother. We love you. Thank you. Man,
wow.
This has been a hell of a show. And that was the comment I got from F Holiday. He said legendary show. So to say that I appreciate you guys, we're gonna keep this discussion going. This is when we really went off the board, but I'm glad we did and mixed in some sports as well. But let's go. What was that?
That was a burp. My apologies.
Why'd you belch in my ear, man?
It was an accident. Couldn't control it.
Accident my ass. No, I'm
Wait. Why is it better it came out that end than the other one?
Yeah.
This is true.
I'll take a burp any day over a fart.
Hog TV says Red Pill in sports can't get no better than that. Thank you for that. And then Trisha joined us. She said she was listening in the background and she loved listening to us and that we were spot on. I know I had that. I know I saw that. I know I saw that comment.
I'm working on getting Trisha on my show to help promote her book. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, and Trisha, I want to have you on my show too on Snowman in the Morning Plus. Cool McCain says we as men have to mentally prepare ahead of time for life changes. That's the truth.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Yep.
Because I know I had to prepare to get married the second time because the first time it fell through the cracks. But I think I was better prepared for this one because Jody and I were friends before we started dating. Like we really got to know each other. All right, let's circle to college football. And Deeds, who's your upset of the week?
This one coming up.
This week coming up.
This week coming up. My upset of the week, and I don't know if it's that much of an upset, but it's gonna be the biggest. It's gonna be the biggest one that throws down this week, and that's Utah traveling to UCLA.
You think UCLA is gonna get him?
I think UCLA is going to get it. I think Chip Kelly's got the team that he needs to have there. And if there's ever going to be a chance, it's now for UCLA.
How about that upset with TCU smacking Oklahoma? I didn't call that an upset because I picked TCU.
I don't know if you can really call that an upset.
It an ass whooping.
We talked about it got glossed over because of what happened on Thursday. What happened Thursday night?
Mm-hmm.
It got glossed over. It got glossed over the fact that Dylan Gabriel, the star quarterback for Utah, got knocked out on a slide when a kid speared him. And Dylan Gabriel, I mean, you lose your star quarterback. There's a reason they brought in a transfer from UCF because everybody in Oklahoma left. They didn't have any quarterbacks after that.
Yeah.
So
After
you
Lincoln
lose your starting
Riley left.
quarterback, yeah, you're going to have those problems. Now, the big thing about TCU was that they put up 55. But, I mean, well, how many times have we seen? And everybody thought that would change with Brett Venables. Brett Venables hasn't gotten his guys in there yet. He's still playing with Lincoln Riley's guys, which we all know the Big 12 where defense is optional.
Yeah.
That's been the Big 12 forever. That's how Lincoln Riley coached it, and that's what they left. That's what they left them with. So this isn't the first time I've seen somebody put up 55 on Oklahoma. But once Dylan Gabriel was out of the game, I said this game's over. Oklahoma lost. They
got walloped.
I don't for everybody to be this was such a shocker. Like once I even saw on the thing, Dylan Gabriel out for the game, I said, Oklahoma lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
Who's your surprise team so far? I got to go with Kansas.
There's no other surprise. There's no other surprise team than Kansas. No one expected this from Kansas.
My surprise team of the year so far is Kansas.
And no one hates Kansas more than me. No one hates Kansas University more than I do. But
why do you hate Kansas?
Because they tried to steal they tried to steal James Naismith away from Springfield College.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because they did an entire 30 for 30 about trying to steal the records should be in the first rules of basketball that James Naismith wrote. They should be here in Lawrence, Kansas, because that's where he made them. And I was like, no. I was like, James Naismith did that in Springfield. That's where they should stay.
I agree.
Yeah, they did an entire 30 for 30, and I was like, this is garbage. This entire thing is a lie. So that's why I hate Kansas.
And you know what? That's a damn good reason to hate Kansas.
I can't stand anything Kansas. So, but I do like Kansas State. So,
Kansas in Little Manhattan, Kansas.
Bill Snyder Field while he was still coaching.
I want to visit Kansas State. I want to take in a game as part of media at Kansas State. I want to see it. I want to see a football game and a basketball game at Kansas State. Wise was wiping his eyes a moment ago. You just had coffee, man. You should be bouncing off the wall. You should be bouncing off the walls.
It's to me, it's especially with college football thing right now. It's gonna be the same teams that were last. Like Georgia's gonna be there.
Georgia,
Alabama. To me, it's just like the same. Same Ohio.
Let me ask a question to Dietz. Is Kansas this year's Cincinnati?
No, because they have enough. They'll have enough firepower later on in the season. I mean,
okay,
we're gonna see them this week against TCU. So we'll see. You know, those two are going to cancel each other. Those two are going to cancel each other out this weekend.
Right.
Then Kansas is gonna still get Oklahoma down the way, Texas down the way. Oklahoma, they're still going to have to go play Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. So this isn't going to be a Cincinnati situation where people can look at it and say, "Oh, they haven't played anybody." Like they're going to play play a Big 12 schedule.
That's where Cincinnati's going in there, isn't they? Aren't they going to the Big 12?
Cincinnati's going to the Big 12. BYU is coming to the Big 12. The Big 12 is going to be fine when Oklahoma
is UCF moving, or are they staying in America?
UCF's coming to the Big 12.
That's what I thought. When is that supposed to happen?
That's happening in 2024 or 25.
Okay.
I think. Whenever Oklahoma and Texas leave for the SEC,
a lot can happen in that time.
That'll be 25.
A lot of time that can change. Anything can happen.
Yeah. That'll be 25 because Oklahoma and Texas, I think in 25 are headed to the SEC.
Brian, I have a question.
Yes.
Because we've been talking about like football being a gladiator sport. Oh, by the way, Wise, before I continue, what I want to say, About that belch. It must have been some good breakfast, huh?
With some good coffee.
Some good
Must have been some good coffee. All right, cool. It's good. It's all the same. If it was good, it's all right. You know, Taco says we say my mother's
It was some
Be
good.
happy.
It was some good coffee.
Yeah, he was content. Anyway, what I want to say was like, because we're talking about, you know, whole thing about gladiator sports and how everybody put Miami on blast because of the mishandling of Tua Tagovailoa's concussions and everything. My question is, what type of concussion protocols do they have in the NCAA at the college level or at high school level?
Throw that to Chris.
Well, for that, and I'm not even close to being anyone who can speak on that, which is why on the show, on the Fit Down Sports Show, I'm still working on getting her scheduled. Our next show will either be tonight or next Thursday, whenever I can get Katie to come on. Our medical expert will be coming on to explain what concussion protocol is. And
okay, cool.
She is a former trainer, head trainer of a high school, and she worked out with the football team in college. So she will tell us what concussion protocol is. And that was something I was on Rod's show on Monday, and he asked the same question. And I said, look, I'm not gonna comment on what Miami should have done, what they could have done. We all know what happened. So that's out of the bag. Now the question is, what do successful programs do? What I don't even know what that is for concussion.
Look at other aspects. Look at other injuries, because was it like a few years ago? I remember watching I think it was Purdue and Ohio State. It was a football game, right? And I was looking at the both offensive defensive linemen. I was like, can you believe how many players? And this is not about concussions, but other injuries. Do you have any idea how many guys on that line of scrimmage were sporting knee braces, elbow braces?
Oh, everybody, every collegiate offensive lineman
on either arm. Because I remember when Ray Lewis had to wear that arm brace on one arm, that elbow brace on one arm, just to hold his tricep in because he tore that. But how many players, offensive and defensive line, have torn, their ACLs, PCLs, or like tore Achilles and such like that, pulled a groin and everything? How many of them have had to undergone reconstructive surgery for that?
Not only how many have torn their ACLs or whatever, and the injuries that you mentioned, how many have played through it?
It's true.
How many have played? How many have played through it? Go for it, Chris.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. I tore my ACL in the middle of a play. I didn't even know it.
Yipe.
I ran off to the sideline. Said, "Yo, something happened to my knee." They said, "Okay." They looked at it and said, "Can you walk on it? I can run on it." And I was like, "Okay." And they were like, "Well, we'll check it after the game. What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm going back in." I went back in.
You
I went back to the next play.
Young, dumb, and hard-headed. Not your fault.
You can't leave it up to a player. A player is always going to say, "I'm going."
True.
It's like when you go to war. It's like going to war. Some of us, like, we've taken bullets and shrapnel, and we just like hang on. Let me switch my avatar for a minute, because Brian, you've seen it. You know what this is. This is where I come from. This is the war culture I come from, and they're all women in this picture, folks. For all you who see it, but it's like just like you said, like players are hell bent on playing, even if they play hurt or play injured. I've seen people who've even gone to war and fought hurt or injured, and you got to just restrain them and say, sit back. If you're not at 100%, you're gonna be more of a liability than an asset to the situation.
That's what my wife said to me quite a few times when I wanted to come back to work doing the show. She verbally and physically held me back when she said, "You're not ready." And this was immediately after surgery when I came home. Turned out to be the best move because I had to go back to the hospital 3 more times because my stomach was acting nuts.
It's why you'll see a lot of times, and a lot of colleges are doing this now, where if you go in the tent at all during the game, they take your helmet. They take your helmet and they don't give it back until the trainer says, "Yeah, you can let him back in the game."
Yeah,
they take your helmet away so that you're not even tempted to go back in the game.
When
go
I
ahead.
scheduled myself to come back on May 2nd, and my wife heard that, she walked by me. This is when we are at our in-laws. She walked by me, and the first thing she asked me, "Are you sure you're going to be able to go for 2 hours?" And I looked at her and I said, "I don't know." And she said, "Well, do this. Do a segment, see how you feel, then decide from there." Best advice I ever got. Because I came back in segments.
And that's when Cole Sports brought out the Shaft segment for you, the Shaft intro for you.
Yep. And I knew I had the right person taking the chair when I went under the knife. Like I said, that night, and it was the night of the national championship, I opened my eyes, I saw my wife, I saw my daughter, I saw my in-laws, and my brain said, "We're good. We're going back to sleep."
I mean,
who
remembers the movie Varsity Blue? Like you talk about players who are hell-bent, Varsity Blue. Like you talk about players who are hell-bent on trying to play. How about a coach who's willing to win at all costs?
Yeah.
And John Boyd had a great character. That was great. He was excellent as that. But like, the way, in fact, the big guy who played the offensive lineman who collapsed in mid-play and had what's his face Billy Bob. Oh, he slimmed down after a while. After that, he slimmed down. Surprisingly, he's changed.
Latina and Cali says, "I think everyone should wear knee, ankle, wrist, and elbow support wraps always." And she backed it up with the word prevention. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what they do now. If you watch any college game, you'll see every offensive lineman has double knee braces, whether they've had something done or not. And
how about basketball players? How many players have ankles taped up?
Here's Trisha's comment that I was looking for earlier. "I've been listening in the background this morning, and you guys are all amazing and spot on. I am proud of each of you." Well, we appreciate that.
We appreciate that, Miss Gray.
And that's, that's the toughest thing. Charles said it best, and Victor said it to me. The toughest thing for one man to say to another is that I'm proud of you. Well, for every man that has been with me on this ride, every man that has been through the show, I'm proud of all of you. Cole and Wise and Sick and Dietz, I'm proud of all of you guys. And I mean that from the heart. Victor, I'm proud of you. Cool McCain, I'm proud of you. Everybody in the chat, I'm proud of all of you. I mean that from the heart. I am proud of all of you. And I can't say it any plainer than that.
Snowman, you asked me before what the biggest surprise is.
Yes.
You want to know what the biggest surprise is? We talked all this about college football, and we didn't even mention the Red River rivalry. That's how unimportant it is.
Oklahoma and Texas. And that's
how much is that? How much has that got to be a kick to the groin to Texas and Oklahoma?
Yeah. It's a kick in the rear end for both schools
I mean,
because they were the Oklahoma Texas was the rivalry for the longest time, and now no one cares. No one cares. Does ESPN have that call?
Mm-hmm.
They have,
Brian,
well, it's gonna be on ABC. It's gonna be on ABC.
Oh, ABC has the. Well, like I said, ESPN has the call.
So it's gonna be
All right.
ESPN on ABC, but.
That makes my skin crawl when you say that. Even though I've watched it for years, doggone it.
Excuse me, Brian.
I know ABC will never be independent. I know ABC will never be an independent entity again, but doggone it, I wish they would be. Yes, Sick. What's up?
I asked this question a few times, but I never got an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about, first of all, Tua Tagovailoa. He's the only left-handed QB right now, right, in the league.
Yes.
We've had a lot of left-handed QBs, but my question is, has there ever been a QB in the NFL or in NCAA for that matter who was ambidextrous? Who was a dual threat?
There was a kid from Tulsa. There was a kid from Tulsa that could do it, and there was a kid in the CFL that could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why you're never going to see that is because left-handed quarterbacks just look weird.
Sorry about that.
No, I get the point.
So, what I'm saying, what I mean by that is the delivery just looks weird. So
the spiral and everything, the throw,
it looks weird when it's left-handed.
Can anybody say Pat Vendetti for baseball?
The way that it comes off. So when you get people Todd McShay and all these people breaking down all this stuff at the combine and all this, they sit there and break down. Well, his delivery looks ugly. No, it doesn't look ugly. It's just left-handed.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, can anybody say Pat Vendetti for baseball?
Yeah, but I've never seen anybody who's like
that's
dual
why
threat.
That's why
a dual-handed
anybody
threat,
who can throw right-handed is going to throw right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I want to thank everybody in the chat that joined us. I want to thank Sig Diggy and along with Wise and Deets.
Is that the kid that had the mixed glove?
Yes. That's Pat Vendetti. He had the six-finger glove. And I'll never forget that story. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Deets, I'd love to have a conversation with you this afternoon or this evening talking nothing but college football. And I got the AB College Football Spectacular coming tonight at 7 p.m. So we'll get it all together for those of you listening.
Just shoot me a time and place, and I'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to get in touch with my medical advisor, Katie.
Right.
And because whenever she's available, that's when I'm going to rip the show. And
all right,
I'm telling you right now, she's just the smartest person about injuries, and she's fired up about this concussion stuff. So
good.
Can't and I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing people bash. Oh, this is what Miami should have done. All right, what they should have done is in the that's already sailed. Now the question is, how do we prevent this from happening again? And I don't have that. I don't have that answer. I need the medical professionals to tell me what we need to do.
Same here. Let's go on and get out of here. Folks, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. Mike Debate tomorrow at 9:15. Chris Bass at 9:35. We got Sam Shady and Ben Sutterth. We got a full 2 hours ready for y'all tomorrow. So, again, God bless y'all. Thank you very much. We'll do it again tomorrow for the fantastic Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. So, we're out of here. See you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Peace.